Morning dear students, and welcome for our today's class. Today we are going to revise our next chapter, and the next chapter which we are supposed to have the revision is your skin and the respiratory system. Now in the skin chapter, the things which you have to remember, first of all, function of skin. You know what is skin? It is a sense organ. Then the function of the skin, or you can say first the structure and then the function of the skin. When you are describing about the structure of the skin, you need not to make or you need not to explain the way it is given in the book in the big paragraphs. Key terms which are given, like if you are explaining dermis, now epidermis. So in epidermis you have to write that it is a non-vascular layer. Okay, it is the outermost non-vascular layer made up of three parts, that is conified layer, granular layer and the Malpighian layer. Is that clear to you? And there in these particularly explaining these three layers, you need to explain the importance of how they are different from each other. Okay, how the conified layer is different from your granular layer, how granular layer is different from Malpighian layer. So that should be the point, not that exactly whatever is written in the book, same thing you are specifying and same thing. No, the key terminologies have to be explained while you write any particular answer. Coming to function of epidermis, in function of epidermis, when you discuss, when you write or when you study, just again here, like the key terms like first of all, epidermis forms the protective covering on the body. The tough conified layer protects the underlying body part. Now each layer, when you are explaining the function of epidermis in that category, you have to explain the work of the conified layer also, the work of the granular layer also, and the work of the Malpighian layer. Is that clear to you? Then coming to dermis, it is the living layer. Everybody knows it is the living layer. It is having the blood vessels, the nerves are present over there. Function of the dermis is collagen, like it is made up of two fibers, collagen fibers and elastin fibers, and these two fibers are making the flexibility, bringing the flexibility in the skin. Then blood capillaries in the dermis provide nourishment. Sensory corp, as I told you, they are having sensory cells, and these sensory cells help us to detect about the surrounding. Then subcutaneous fat as food reservoir and insulates the body against the heat loss. Now derivatives of the skin, when you explaining the derivatives of the skin, suppose if you start explaining hair. Now when you are giving the explanation about the hair, like the main things which you need to specify is erector pili muscles, piloerection. Okay, how come the hairs are standing straight? Then the hair shaft, then the hair root, and then finally the hair bulb. Same thing when you are talking about the nails. In nails, it should move in a proper sequence. The sequence which is being shown or which is being specified in the book, same way, nail plate, nail bed, nail matrix. Okay. Now let us discuss something about the epidermis. I was just briefing you up how you are supposed to write your answers. Now let us, if we discuss about the epidermis. The epidermis, as you know, is the outermost layer. Okay, it is the outermost layer, and it is a non-vascular layer. Now why do we call it as a non-vascular layer? We refer it as a non-vascular layer because it does not have any kind of blood vessels. Now when we talk about the three parts of it, when we talk about conified layer is the outermost, and it is being characterized by the presence of keratin. Okay, keratin is the most important substance which is found in which layer? In the conified layer, the protein named the keratin. Then when we talk about the granular layer, and you know granular layer is a transitional layer. It is a transitional layer because it is coming from the Malpighian layer. After the Malpighian layer, the granular layer, and then finally when more addition of cell is there from the Malpighian layer, this granular layer changes into what? Into the conified layer. What is the important term about transitional layer? Because this is the one who is turning from Malpighian to conified. Then comes the Malpighian layer. As you know, Malpighian layer is Okay, these cells which are actively dividing. Then that is the most striking feature of the Malpighian layer, and then it contains the brown pigment which is being called as what? Which is being called as the melanin. Fine. Now dermis, if you know, dermis is the living layer, and when we say it is a living layer, we mean to say that it is having the blood vessels and actively dividing cells. In the bundle of unbranched white collagen fiber, several branched yellow elastin fiber. They are formed by specialized cells, fibroblasts lying in the connective tissue. Dermis is supplied to the blood vessels and the nerves. Dermis can be differentiated into upper papillary region, which is projected into the epidermis in the form of finger-like dermal papilla. Okay. Now, the dermal papilla has either loops or blood capillary. If you see the diagram, with the diagram it is very easy to understand the structure of the skin and basically the structure of the epidermis and dermis. Now, here if we talk about, here is what? It is contained in a tubular sac that is called as hair follicle. And as I was telling you here, when we are explaining here, erectile muscles and piloerections are the two important terminologies which you need to specify. Talking about nail, as you know that when we talk about the nail, this is the outer plate like part being formed of dead keratinized. You need to differentiate which is the dead part, which is the living part. Okay. Then sweat glands. As you know, sweat glands, they are present in the skin, and these sweat glands, what do they have? What is their function? They are releasing sweat. And the sweat is what? It is actually the combination of water and salt. Then what is the mammary glands which are giving out milk? Which these mammary glands are provided with what? They are provided with you can say the sac. Each mammary gland contains breast and is formed a cluster of 3 lobes of glandular tissues. Okay, it is made up of glandular tissues, and these glandular tissues are providing, they are having the milk duct which is supplying milk to the young ones. And how? Because of the nipple present, the conical projection of the breast which is called as nipple. From there the young one sucks milk from the mother's body. Then sebaceous glands, they are called as oil glands, and these sebaceous oil glands are secreting what? They are secreting a liquid which is being called as sebum, and this sebum is like a waterproof substance. Okay, it is a waterproof substance. Then we have 2 modified sebaceous gland, meibomian gland, which is stopping the overflow of tears, and ceremonous gland, which is lubricating the ear canal. Function of the skin, as you know, it is protecting from injuries, from germs, from harmful sun rays, storage of fat. It is a sense organ, it is an excretory organ, it is a secretory organ, synthesizing vitamin D, helps in gripping, and then regulation of body temperature. Now, when you in regulation of body temperature, 2 terminologies are very, very important. And what are those 2 terminologies? The 2 terminologies which are important are vasodilation and vasoconstriction. Vasodilation is in which season? In the summer season. And what happens in vasodilation? In vasodilation, the blood capillaries become very dilated, or you can say becomes very soft, and as a result, what is happening? As a result, more amount of blood is flowing. More amount of blood means more amount of oxygen is reaching to the cells, and rate of respiration is little higher. And as a result, when rate of respiration is going to be higher, more amount of heat will be produced, and that means that it is going to help out to release more amount of heat from the body. Okay, vasoconstriction, or just the opposite. The capillaries become narrow. Flow of blood is little narrow, you can say little less as compared to the summer season, and that is why heat is conserved. Instead of heat giving out, the heat is conserved. So this was all about this particular chapter, that is your skin chapter. In respiratory system, what all things are important? The things which are important is what is respiration. You should know what is respiration. So whenever you are describing respiration, you have to describe a particular word, and that what is the word? The word is it is a biochemical process. Many times whenever I have explained, I have told you what is the meaning of biochemical. then you should know the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Why do we respire? Everybody knows the need of respiration is to get the energy. And why do we need the respiratory organ? This is very, very important. Why we need the respiratory organ? The reason behind it is that when these respiratory, all the organs are not in contact with the atmospheric oxygen. All the organs are not in contact with the atmospheric oxygen, and this atmospheric oxygen has to reach each and every organ. And how? This is because of the respiratory organs, the atmospheric oxygen is reaching to each and every cell of the body. Is that clear? Then we have discussed about the respiratory organs in human, starting with the nose, and every place you have seen some or the other changes were taking place. Like in nose, air was getting moist, the hair were trapping the dust particles, then pharynx was there, then larynx is also being called as the voice box, then we have the trachea and the windpipe, bronchi, bronchioles, then the bronchial tree. Fine. Then finally, which is the site where respiration is taking place? Respiration is taking place in the alveoli. And alveoli are what? They are the air sacs which are surrounded by what? They are surrounded by the blood capillaries. How is respiration possible? How is that exchange of gases possible? This is possible because of the thin membrane of the capillaries as well as because of the thin membrane of the alveoli. Now, lungs, then which is the main organ? Till now, whichever organ we have discussed, they are known as conducting organs. They are the organs which are helping in transferring of atmospheric oxygen to the lungs. Lung is the main organ because alveoli are present in the lungs, and that is a place where exchange of gas is taking place. When we talk about structure of lung, having two membrane, outer pleura, inner pleura, between these two there is a fluid filled in, and then one is right lobe and left lobe. Right lobe is little bigger than the left lobe. Then finally, if we talk about process of respiration, it is divided into various 4 steps. First is breathing. Breathing is what? It is just a mechanical process where exchange of atmospheric oxygen and carbon dioxide is taking place. Divided into 2 phases, inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation and exhalation both are being controlled by 2 set of muscles. What are those? Intercostal muscles and the radial muscles. Intercostal muscles are present in the ribs and radial muscles are present in the diaphragm. Then what is inspiration? Inspiration means when we inhale the air, and when we inhale the air, what is happening? The ribs are moving upward and outward. Diaphragm becomes flat, and inside the body, what is happening? The pressure is decreasing. Air always moves from high pressure to low pressure. So outside pressure, from outside air is coming in the body, and exactly the opposite happens in what? In the exhalation. Then you should know how breathing and respiration are. Is there any means? Many times it is a quite confusion that breathing and respiration are the same terms. No, they are totally different terminologies. Breathing is something else. Breathing is a physical process, whereas respiration is a biochemical process. Then we can divide respiration into 4 phases. Breathing, external respiration. Now breathing you have understood. External respiration means in the way alveoli. Okay. These alveoli, at the place oxygen has entered the blood and carbon dioxide is removed. That is known as external. Then comes the tissue respiration. Now this blood rich in oxygen in combination with hemoglobin, okay, oxyhemoglobin, making an unstable compound, oxyhemoglobin goes to the tissues. Tissues are surrounded by tissue fluid. Now there it is, the oxygen passes to the tissue fluid, from there it passes to the tissue, and this is called as what? Tissue respiration or internal respiration. And finally the last phase, where the oxygen has reached to the cell, where breakdown of food is taking place to release energy, that is known as biological oxidation or cellular respiration. Is that clear to you? So you should be clear with all the terms. What is breathing? What is external respiration? What is internal respiration? What is cellular respiration? Or you can say your biological oxidation. And you know that each and every step of respiration is governed by whom? By the enzymes. So enzymes are playing a vital role in the process of respiration. Okay, so this was all about the revision of 2 chapters, and now with this we have completed the chapters, we have done the revision of the chapters, and I hope you all are preparing well for your exams. So best of luck for your upcoming exams. Do well in the exams.